My name is Ryan, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the principles of manifestation using some analogies and kind of what it's like to go through a spiritual awakening. I am currently packing to head back to school, hence the giant suitcase behind me and the messy room that surrounds me. So let us begin. Imagine that your life on Earth is kind of like a video game. Not to say that it's not real, but, you spawned in here and there's this environment and other people and things to do and activities and stuff, kind of like GTA. When you spawn into GTA, there's an environment and other players and characters and things to do, right? Now, in the video game GTA, if you want to get something, you have to go on side quests to get it. So if you want a new car, you got to do some side quests to get the money to go buy the car. Same thing in our world. If you want to go get a car, you got to go get a job, make money, save that money over a long period of time. You got to move through space, you got to take action in order to get what you want. But now imagine that you're playing the GTA video game and you realize that there's a cheat code or a glitch or something that you can do to get the car sooner than if you were to take all the action to get it normally. That you can punch in a code or take a different side quest to get the car sooner. I want you to imagine now that that's also true in our reality. That to get to that dream thing that you want, which is really more of a dream version of yourself, a dream reality, to manifest your dream life in your life, that there is a cheat code that you can use to get there. And now, if you're only taking action and you never realize what this cheat code or what this principle is, you can still get it. It's just going to take you a lot of time. You could get a good job, go to school, save up a lot of money, put it into some high interest savings account and let that money compound over time and put it into your retirement. And by the time you're 60, 70 years old, have enough money to support yourself and to live your dream life, to get your dream home, dream car, whatever it is, right? But what if you didn't have to only take the action? Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't take those actions or you shouldn't work your job or, you know, physical reality is a reality where you need to take action. But what if that cheat code isn't a code, but it's understanding that your mind affects matter and that your mind and your consciousness transcend the bounds of linear space and time? That's what the cheat code is. When you realize that your state of consciousness, your beliefs, your thoughts have an effect on the matter and the circumstances and even the other people that are around you. That's what a spiritual awakening is. It's realizing that what you thought was only this physical world, although it is physical and that you can take actions to get things, is also a spiritual world simultaneously. It's a mental world, it's a mental creation, and that you can use the power of your mind by proper attunement to live the life that you really want to live. You can transcend the need to spend so much action and so much time to get to where you want, and you can take a shortcut. You can go a much faster way. Now, how does that work? Well, basically, take this lamp next to me, for example. When there's more light, more energy that's flowing into the lamp, there's more heat. But also, when things get hot, they begin to produce light. The variable of heat and the variable of light are one and the same. They're connected. So that wherever there's more light, there's more heat. And wherever there's more heat, there's more light. Same thing with electromagnetism. Wherever there's a strong enough whenever there's a strong enough magnetic pole, there will also be an electric charge. Whenever there's a strong enough electric charge, there will be a magnetic pull, a magnetic reaction. The same thing works with your state of consciousness. When you perceive physically wealth around you, let's say you have a lot of money in your bank account, internally, in your consciousness, in your mind and in your heart, in your thoughts and your emotions, you feel wealthy. You embody the identity of being a wealthy person. But what if, in the same way that heat produces light and light produces heat, in the same way that electricity produces magnetism and magnetism produces electricity, and in the same way that when there's physical wealth around you, inwardly you feel wealthy, what if that by inwardly feeling wealthy, by thinking and believing and perceiving yourself, by changing your self identity to perceive yourself as a wealthy person, you could begin to generate and reveal wealth in your life. That is exactly what this principle is. It's understanding that your thoughts and your mind and your state of consciousness is not separate from matter. It's not separate from reality. This is something that quantum physics is beginning to uncover with the observer effect. That everything really is just energy until it's observed and, in a sense, crystallized into a state. In the same way that water can freeze into ice or evaporate into vapor, but it's still the same underlying substance, there is an underlying universal energy that, by the direction of a given individual's state of being, crystallizes and changes and morphs to reflect that state of being. That, in a sense, reality is a lot like a mirror, and it reflects back to us our most dominant beliefs about ourselves. It reflects back to us our self identity. I just threw a lot at you. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Imagine, you probably have a friend or a person that you know who always says, bad things happen to me all the time. Bad things happen to me. Bad things happen to me. I'm always unlucky. I never can do what I really want to do, whatever it is. They have that negative belief running on repeat. And you notice that it begins to reflect in their life. Bad things really do happen to them, or they really do seem to be unlucky. And you go, oh, they're right. And now maybe you've met someone who's other than that, someone who says, man, I feel like I'm a really lucky person. Good things are always happening to me. Good things are always finding me. And it's true. Good things are always finding them. They are always, it is always happening. Or you have one person who says, I just have such a fast metabolism. They never seem to gain weight. I just have such a fast metabolism. What if it wasn't that they were observing the facts of their reality? What if it was they were creating the facts of their reality because of their conviction in that idea? What if it wasn't that bad things were happening to this person that was making them believe that bad things always happen to them? What if it was their belief that bad things always happen to them that was beginning to make circumstances around them unfold in a negative way? That is what manifestation is. Now, this doesn't mean that every negative situation in your life or every challenge that you've ever gone through is a reflection of your state of consciousness. You are, in a sense, if we go back to the GTA analogy, you're a co-creator, which means that every individual in the GTA game, when you're playing on multiplayer, has the power to create their little world. And that's exactly what you're doing in this reality. And so you might have positive thoughts and beliefs and ideas about yourself, but still there's war in the Middle East, or there's political conflict, or you have a bad relationship with someone because they're full of negativity. So understand that the world is still out there, and there are still things going on that are, to some degree or another, outside of your control. But at the very least, with this understanding of how your mind plays an impact on reality, that you can begin to, at the very least, take control of what you have control over, which is your self identity, your self image, your thoughts, your dreams, your beliefs about yourself, and that would have an impact on your life and eventually on the lives of those around you. That is what I'm talking about here. And so, if this principle is true, you don't have to believe me because it's still to your benefit to experiment with it anyways. If this principle is true, that whatever your most dominant beliefs are, your state of consciousness, your state of mind is about yourself, beliefs like, good things always happen to me, or I'm a money magnet, or I'm wealthy, or I'm healthy, or I have a fast metabolism, whatever those beliefs are about yourself, how do we change the negative ones and turn them into positive ones? And that's why I said this is still to your benefit, whether you believe me or not, which is, even if you don't believe that your mind has an influence on reality, it is still to your benefit to change those negative beliefs into positive ones, because you're just going to feel better. And at the end of the day, that's what everyone really wants. Everyone just wants to feel better. Everyone wants to feel those positive beliefs coursing through them, because beliefs are where emotions come from, and emotions are the essence of everything that we seek. Why do we want money? We want money because we want to feel free, joyful, adventurous. We want to feel like we can give to other people in our lives. Why do we want to go travel? We want to feel alive, vital, adventurous, right? It's the feeling that you really want. If I told you you could have all the money in the world and the only trade-off is that you'd be miserably depressed, you wouldn't take it, right? And so what we really want is the feeling. So how do we change these beliefs? How do we change these feelings? Because again, whether you believe in the principle of manifestation or not, it is still to your benefit to change your self image into one that is positive. And what happens is that as you do, you will see this show cause in your life. You will see these beliefs being reflected back to you. You will see your thoughts beginning to shape your personal reality. And then eventually the collective reality at a larger scale. But we'll get into that some other time. So, how does one do this? Well, just as an artist needs to start with a blank canvas in order to access this state of changing your mind, creating changes in your patterns of thought and belief and emotion, you need to start with a blank canvas. And the way that you get to a blank canvas is you learn how to meditate. You learn how to quiet your mind and enter that silent space. Because when your mind is quiet, there's no charge, there's no negative thoughts or positive thoughts. There's nothing pulling or pushing against you in any direction. There's no creation. It's just a blank canvas when your mind is quiet. And so that's the beginning point of all creation, all manifestation, and all psychology, to rewire your self image about yourself, to rewire your negative beliefs, your negative patterns, your negative habits. You need to enter into that state of the blank canvas. You need to quiet your mind and become clear enough to see and perceive what it is that you're going to create. So, my recommendation is meditate for a few minutes every morning and a few minutes before you go to sleep, especially every morning, because that's when your mind is fresh. You haven't imprinted anything on your mind that day. You wake up and it's like a clean slate, it's a new day. Okay, so that's step one. Meditate, clear your mind, and reach the state of no thoughts, not positive thoughts or negative thoughts. No overthinking, no perceiving, no judging, no memories, nothing. You're just blank state. Then you're going to ask, what is it that I would love to create in my life? And this is where visualization comes into play. So the way that you change your state of consciousness is you meditate to reach ground zero, to reach the blank canvas, and then you visualize to begin to create what it is that you want, and really the version of yourself that you know you already are. And so when your mind is calm, it's much more receptive to new thoughts and new ideas that you impress upon it. In that way, your mind is a lot like a garden, that whatever you plant in the garden is eventually going to grow and become fruitful. And only when your mind is calm is it most receptive to the new seeds that you plant in it. And so when your mind is calm, you begin to visualize and you say, what would it be like if I were healthy, happy, wealthy? What would it be like if I were more free to be myself, if I were expressing myself authentically, if I was adventurous, if I was, whatever it is that you desire to be, whatever those feelings are, begin to cultivate them in your imagination. Your imagination is that creative bridge to higher states of consciousness. It is the bridge beyond the physical, where in physical reality, we perceive ourselves only as physical beings, but your imagination takes you to that dimension beyond and begins to plant new ideas within your soul, within the essence of your being that is not physical in nature. And so, as you do this and you practice this and you go through this process of quieting your mind and creating anew, quieting your mind and creating anew, quieting your mind and creating new thoughts, new beliefs, new ideas to impress upon your mind, you want to marinate in that state. You want to find ways to remain in that state. Maybe that's like putting a sticky note on your bathroom mirror and writing down something that reminds you of that state. Maybe it's having a mantra that says, I am happy, healthy, and wealthy. And you repeat that when you're driving, when you're waiting in line, when you're in an elevator, wherever it may be. Eventually, what will happen is those new seeds will begin to sprout and take root in the garden of your consciousness, the garden of your mind, and you will notice that you begin to feel a lot different. You feel more confident, more free, more happy, more at peace, more at ease. Old negative patterns and habits and traumas and old things that have happened to you begin to get washed away, and they become the foundation of wisdom through which you're building a new life, a new identity, a new state of being. And from there, that's it. From there, you should enjoy your life. You change your thoughts And that changes your beliefs, and that changes your feelings, which changes the quality of your entire being, which changes your actions, which eventually reflects in the external circumstances of your world. And just as when you plant a seed, it may sprout in a week or 2 months or 6 months, whatever you plant into your mind will eventually come to fruition. So now is the best time to begin to get to planting, to tend to the weeds, remove the old ideas, and implant your mind with new ones, because your mind is the repository of infinite power. And what you plant in your mind is going to come about in your life, whether you look at it from a scientific perspective or a metaphysical or spiritual perspective. Whether you believe me or you don't believe me in terms of your mind having an impact on your reality, it is worth changing, and changing into a state of love and joy and happiness and peace. Because, I heard from this really wonderful, wise Indian teacher that your mind is the mechanism by which you create heaven or hell for yourself, which is, no one can reach into your mind and choose what thoughts you think, what you believe, what you entertain. Only you can do that. And so it's worth learning. It's worth practicing. It's worth changing your state of consciousness into one where you really genuinely feel like the version of yourself that you always knew that you were, that version of yourself that is happy and healthy and confident and free. And what you'll notice if you persist long enough, again, whether you believe me or not, is it will affect your outer reality as well. You will notice that you find yourself in the right place at the right time. You feel drawn to open a book and you open it to the right page and you read the right passage to get exactly what you need next on your journey of life. You realize that everything happens for a reason, and just as the Buddhists say, everything is interconnected. And that is how you manifest. That is how you pick up your creative brush and begin painting a new life for yourself. That is how you realize that everything is interconnected and life is much more magical than you thought it was. Thank you.